Artificial intelligence is no longer just a technological frontier, it's a national imperative. In India, the government has made a deliberate strategic choice to lead with innovation, not regulation. Instead of a single, sweeping AI law, India has adopted a vertical, sector-led governance model, a light-touch approach that empowers existing regulators in telecom, finance, health, and defense to adapt their frameworks to AI's unique risks. On the surface, this makes sense. It's agile, it's responsive, it's pro-innovation. But here's the catch. Without a clear, unified implementation architecture, this model risks something far more dangerous than slow progress: policy fragmentation. Imagine a country where every sector sets its own rules for AI fairness, incident reporting, or liability. Where a telecom provider reports an AI failure in one system, but a bank's equivalent incident goes unrecorded because no standard exists. Where startups can't prove compliance because there's no trusted certification path. Where regulators operate in silos and public trust erodes, not from AI itself, but from governance failure. This is the policy-to-practice gap, a well-documented crisis in global AI governance. High-level principles like fairness, transparency, and accountability sound good on paper. But how do you verify them? How do you enforce them? How do you scale them across diverse sectors without creating chaos? In this video, we dive into a groundbreaking solution, a federated architecture for sector-led AI governance developed specifically for India, but with global relevance. The core idea: you don't need a single AI law to achieve coherence. You need a layered, dynamic system that connects the dots between policy, standards, tools, and trust, while preserving the flexibility of decentralized decision-making. Let's walk through the 5 layers of this architecture, each one building on the last, like a digital nervous system for responsible AI. Layer 1, laws, regulations, and policies, the national vision. At the top sits the AI Governance Group, a high-level interministerial body, supported by a technical secretariat under MeitY. This group doesn't write laws. It sets the national strategy. It defines a risk-based approach, what qualifies as a high-risk AI application, what sectors require stricter oversight. It ensures that domain-specific regulators, like TRAI in telecom, RBI in finance, or the Department of Health, don't operate in isolation. Instead, they're guided by a shared framework. This is where the whole-of-government vision becomes operational. The apex body coordinates, aligns, and prevents duplication. It's not about control, it's about coherence. Layer 2, standards, the common language. Now how do we translate fairness or safety into something measurable? That's where standards come in. India's Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS, and the Telecommunication Engineering Center, TEC, are the key players here. They develop national technical benchmarks, precise, repeatable definitions of what bias looks like in a hiring algorithm, or what robustness means in a medical diagnostic AI. Crucially, these standards aren't created in a vacuum. They're aligned with global bodies, ISO, IEC, ITU, ensuring interoperability. This isn't just about domestic consistency. It's about enabling Indian AI to compete globally. If a startup builds a system compliant with TEC's fairness standard, it can be trusted not just in Delhi, but in Berlin, Nairobi, or Tokyo. And here's the kicker: these aren't mandatory. They're voluntary. But because they're backed by national credibility, they become the de facto gold standard, especially for startups seeking market legitimacy. Layer 3, standardized assessment procedures, the verification engine. Now, how do we verify compliance? That's Layer 3, assessment procedures. This is where academic institutions, industry experts, and bodies like the AI Safety Institute, AISI, come together to design repeatable, transparent methods for testing AI systems. Think of it as an audit protocol. How do you test for bias in a credit scoring model? How do you validate that an AI-powered traffic control system behaves safely under stress? These aren't one-off checks. They're standardized procedures, like a recipe book for responsible AI. The technical secretariat oversees their development, ensuring consistency across sectors. And because they're open and repeatable, they can be trusted by regulators, investors, and the public. Layer 4, standardized tools and metrics, the implementation layer. With procedures in place, we now build the tools. This is where India's vibrant startup ecosystem and academic research labs shine. They develop open-source libraries, APIs, and automated testing tools that make compliance feasible at scale. Imagine a plug-and-play toolkit that helps a hospital deploy an AI radiology assistant and automatically flags potential bias in training data. Funding from MeitY and DST drives this innovation. The government doesn't build the tools. It funds the builders. This is the engine of practical trust, turning abstract principles into usable, scalable solutions. Layer 5, voluntary compliance ecosystem, the trust loop. Finally, we reach the final layer, trust. Here, developers, deployers, and enterprises make public commitments. They self-declare compliance. They publish transparency reports. They seek third-party certifications, like a digital good housekeeping seal for AI. This isn't coercion. It's incentivized trust. For small and medium enterprises, this path is far more accessible than navigating a complex regulatory maze. For large firms, it's a competitive advantage, proof of due diligence. And here's the magic: this layer closes the loop. Real-world data from incident reports, audit findings, and user feedback flows upward, into the technical secretariat, then into the AI governance group. This feedback informs future standards, policies, and risk assessments. The system isn't static. It learns. It evolves. Now, let's apply this architecture to one of the most urgent challenges in AI governance: incident management. Right now, most countries rely on centralized AI incident databases, like a single repository for all AI failures. But here's the problem: these systems are overwhelmed. The noise from social media and autonomous vehicles drowns out critical incidents in power grids, telecom networks, or financial systems. In India, this risk is real. A failure in a telecom AI system could cascade across millions of users. But without a proper reporting mechanism, it might never be documented. So instead of a central database, we propose a federated model. Each sector maintains its own incident repository. TRAI runs telecom, RBI runs finance, the Ministry of Health runs healthcare AI. But here's the key: they all use the same national standard for data schema and taxonomy. That means every incident, whether in a telecom network or a medical AI, gets recorded in the same format. Same definitions, same categories, same metadata. Then a central body, like the AI Safety Institute, aggregates anonymized data from all these sectoral databases. They run cross-sectoral analysis. Are there patterns of failure in AI systems used for critical infrastructure? Are certain types of models more prone to bias in high-stakes domains? This gives policymakers a national, holistic view, without violating data sovereignty. And the feedback loop works both ways. Insights flow back to sectoral regulators and developers. Here's what went wrong. Here's how to fix it. This turns the incident database from a graveyard of failures into a living learning engine. So what does this mean for India and for the world? First, it proves that a light-touch, sector-led model can work if you have the right architecture. You don't need a single AI law to achieve coherence. You need a structured, layered system that connects policy to practice. Second, it offers a globally relevant template. Countries like the US, UK, and Germany are also wrestling with vertical governance. This model shows how to balance innovation with accountability, how to decentralize implementation while centralizing standards and oversight. Third, it enables international cooperation. If nations adopt harmonized incident schemas, say, for telecom or finance, then global bodies like the ITU can aggregate anonymized data across borders. A systemic failure in a global payment AI could be detected early. A new bias pattern in healthcare AI could be flagged before it spreads. No centralization. No data sovereignty violations. Just smart, federated intelligence. The path forward isn't about choosing between regulation and innovation. It's about building the infrastructure that makes both possible. India has the ambition. It has the institutions. Now it has the blueprint. This architecture isn't just theoretical. It's actionable. It's scalable. It's grounded in real policy, cited in MeitY's official AI governance guidelines, and being piloted in sectoral initiatives. The next step: prioritize the AI incident management framework as a first implementation project within a regulatory sandbox. Test it. Learn from it. Scale it. Because trust isn't built by speeches. It's built by systems. And this system, this 5-layer, federated, feedback-driven architecture, shows us how to build trust in AI, one layer at a time. India's not just building AI. It's building the governance that will define the next era of technology. And if this model works, it could become the template for the world. Thank you for watching. If you found this insightful, hit like, subscribe, and share with anyone who cares about the future of AI, not just how it works, but how it's governed. Because the most powerful technology isn't the one that's most advanced. It's the one that's most responsible. Stay curious, stay critical, and stay ahead.